And drops are enabled, people. Again today, if anybody's into that. So.
Oh yeah, that's it. Nice.
Oh wow, he's huge.
Yeah, cool, huh?
Very cool. Now, when you say parse, you mean when you have to be, what am I trying to say?
Look at her go.
Yeah, I know. If you are having to give a number to be in a certain group, if they want you, you have to be at a certain DPS, and that's what they use to test you.
Yes, yes. If you want to be in a progression, a trial progression
Ah, okay. Trial
guild
progression.
or group, if you want to start that in your own guild, there you'll have to have a DPS requirement.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what sets people run. It doesn't matter what class they want to run, what race they are. All they need to do is meet this DPS threshold.
Okay. I have heard
Hello.
some. Hi, Lo. How are you, Indy?
I have a question for Alba real quick.
Yep.
Joshua, Thor's son, he's on the COT, and I'd like to have him invited to this server.
Yes.
How do we do that?
I can do that.
I was just gonna say, you
Okay.
copy it,
Para
paste
can
it, and
do
give it to
that.
him.
He is
COT,
right
is that
now
correct?
on COT General, I think.
Yes, I know
Okay,
he is. I
looking
was
for
just
him.
chatting with him.
I'll go talk to him.
Awesome.
Is he Mechanus Nova?
That's him.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And his name is Joshua?
Correct.
Very good.
Pockets, I've heard it said before that sometimes they even have you change your champion points when you're in some trials and stuff. Do you get into that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do not. I'm not into PVE much at all. I'm not part of a trial progression guild.
Mm.
I did parse and I learned about this because I have some friends who like to run veteran content like BDSA for weapons for PvP.
Right. Right.
So they always needed like I had a tank and a healer, but they needed a DPS, and so
And he has arrived.
I decided to make one.
Interesting. Okay. That I've heard
Okay,
that,
I
and I'm
sent
like,
it to him. He's going to try it.
Yeah,
And
he's
here he
here
is.
already.
It worked.
very
There,
cool.
done.
Hello there.
Hi,
Hello.
Doom.
Is it?
How's it going?
Hello there.
Good. Welcome to Celestial Legacy.
Yes, very welcome.
Question by Chris.
I'm gonna be streaming my screen so that I can show folks what add-ons I run and what my screen looks like.
Okay.
So I'll be streaming it live in Discord. So I think through Discord you can see my screen, which is what I'm gonna work off of.
Oh, okay, cool. So then I can stream the stream if I get it up.
So for those people that can't use add-ons, is there another way to determine their DPS?
Is there another way? I don't. Not that I know. Well, I think when you kill the dummy, I believe. Like I just fought the dummy and my DPS at that point was 42k. I'm not sure if that's an add-on or not. I'm so full of add-ons that sometimes I don't know what is the bear game. I use combat metrics, which is what most people use to do my parse, and so it pulls up on my screen. I'm showing this something like this. So combat metrics tells me my DPS this parse was 52k. I did this 7:30 this morning because I lost
Is
all
your
my other
combat
parses.
metrics able to measure the DPS of other people in your party?
It can. Yes, I don't know how, but yes, absolutely. You can. That's what people do. They'll do like a trial, and then go back, and it'll tell people's names and how much DPS they pulled, and yeah, it'll break it all down into things that I'm like way not geeky about. There's a whole bunch of different tabs that say different things as well. And
So-
go ahead.
Random question. How do I see what you guys are talking about?
I'm talking about combat metrics, and it's an add-on.
Gotcha.
So
She's
yeah, you download the combat metrics add-on, and then you parse. So you kill a monster. It doesn't have to be a trial dummy. You don't have to bring a trial dummy down, but you can kill any monster, and then you type /CMX, which is part of the add-on,
Gotcha.
and then it brings up this screen, and it tells you what your parse was essentially.
Can you see her
I had
stream,
something like this.
Doom?
No,
You're-
I can't see her stream. So
Okay, if
Okay,
you're
that'll
in
be
with us, you should be able to pull it up.
um,
Click on full pockets in
Oh,
general.
okay, that would be why.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Now you
This
can
is
see it.
this is combat metrics.
There's a
Okay,
lot
I had
there.
something like this for World of Warcraft.
I know, isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I don't use a lot of it just because I'm not that into PvE, but I know about it. I know people who do get really nitty gritty. So this is the main screen. When you type in CMX, you could pull up this, and I saved this so you can save it. I'm loading the previous one I did at 7:30 this morning, and so it shows that. So my DPS is essentially 52k. So I would, if a trial progression guild said you need at least 50k DPS, I would
Mhm.
screenshot this and show them, hey, I can do this, and then I would get in. So that's why you need you need to do it on the trial target iron astronaut dummy, which is the gold standard for all that. And I could see, like most of my attacks were biting jabs, which is my spammable. So shush from a Templar, and so I could see how much DPS that did. And then my second one was burning light, and then my proc set is relic one. And then my light attacks are way down here. Light attacks, if I was better at light attacking, would be like second. So I'm not awesome at light attacking, but we can talk about that. And I'm not awesome because I don't practice. If I practice, I would be awesome. It's just it's totally a practice thing. And are we ready to start, you guys think, or should we wait a few more minutes?
Still trying to get I'm still trying to get watch stream to open up on your
I'm not
Do
able.
Discord.
Hello. Hey y'all.
Hi, Toke.
Hey, Toke.
Where do I join you guys in game?
We're at Alba's house.
Albus
yeah.
Place? Okay.
His primary.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
picking you up either. Pockets.
I'm streaming in Discord, so I think
Yeah, I
if
know.
you do the Discord group, and I think you can click on my name and watch stream. See, like where it says live.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah,
it
that's
says
what I'm doing.
it says stream paused for me.
Oh, it's because I'm not in that screen now. Now it should work.
there it
And
is.
then
Yeah.
it says watch stream, but
Yep.
it's not giving me anything.
Okay, and you
Alright,
click on
hang
watch
on, I'm
stream.
gonna try again. I usually don't have a problem with it.
Oh, you've done this before. You've watched streams before, and it was no difficulty.
Yeah, and
Oh,
shared
man.
people's screens and stuff like that. But
Right. Oh, that sucks.
okay, let's try this again.
Well, this is cool. This is the first time I've ever done this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't have time to set it up, so I didn't know we'd be doing this, so I don't have it on my stream. But that's okay.
Oh no.
No, it's
How
okay.
Can we?
No.
Can we fix that?
No,
Okay.
I think for me, it'd be too complicated at this point. So don't worry about it. I just want people to know
Okay.
what we're looking at. They can't see.
I might be watching you.
That could be it. Do you see me? Drops are on, by the way, Ellie.
Oh
today.
no, I'm sorry. I was talking about Pocket's Discord thing, and I'm
Ah.
about to be watching you.
I'm doing this at the request of Rotat. She had to go out and he says,
Mhm.
could you please stream it so I can watch it later?
Hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Seriously.
Wants to duel again?
I know.
Yeah, you got an ad going on right now.
No, I don't. Yeah, I
you
know.
on.
I know. They don't tell us; they just do it. And although I do have a button, I could play an ad if I wanted to. Isn't that terrible?
Show off.
No, this is. I
Yeah.
had 13k hit points, dude. If you can't drop me, I don't know what to tell you.
I
This is my glass cannon parsing build.
no, I
and
have I didn't have enough shit because I didn't drink any eat any
Oh, you
food.
didn't have food up? I have
Yeah.
parsing food up. See, when you look at my screen, see all these buffs I have, right?
Oh, wow.
These are all from the trial dummy. So that's why you want a trial dummy, because in a trial setting, you're gonna have people buffing you. You're gonna have sets
Ah.
buffing you. So it mirrors the trial, because on a regular dummy like a skeleton or I'll probably pull like 30k, right? But I'm not gonna pull 50k, which is what people want you to parse.
I love
Or,
it.
or 50k or whatever they decide.
It says go to the app to watch.
Go to
Oh,
the
you're
app.
on
Now.
you're on the website.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to open up your Discord app.
That's what I'm doing. There we are. I see
Got it.
you.
Cool. Are we ready to go, you think, guys?
How do
Should
you
we
get
wait?
that add-on to work? I just downloaded it, and now
Oh.
what?
Well, are you talking about combat metrics?
Yeah, is it just
You do \CMX,
okay?
and then it will load. Like, this is just loading my little fight with Tulk, and part of it. And so it's not like necessarily accurate. It'll load the last thing you kill. So if I go kill a mud crab, it'll load my fight with the mud crab.
What?
So, and you can.
How do you
can
bring
go to
that up
previous
again?
fight.
Oh, CMS.
Yeah. Yeah, \CMX.
X.
Yeah, and then you can load all your little fights. And if you don't finish the trial dummy, it just tells you. If you do
Oh.
one swipe, it just tells you.
All right, so I don't have
Now
that.
I can
that one.
actually read them.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And it's combat metrics.
Yeah, combat metrics is the add-on.
Okay. And then it's \CMX.
Correct. Yeah, I never do the syntax until I saw someone else do it. But yeah, it's part of. I'm sure the add-on somewhere tells you how to do it. But it tells me all my buffs, tells me my stats, and then tells me what I dropped that did most of the damage, and then it tells me the percentage, and then there is a thing where it tells you uptime of stuff, so you know what to improve.
See, and I have combat metrics, but I've never been able to get it to work well.
Okay. Yeah, it works well against trial dummies, but I don't really test it in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
It works well for me. And then if you do the info one, it'll tell you kind of, what you're running, your CP, and then your bars. So, okay, so I'm going to start from the top. I did not mean to get right into that. So yeah, for everyone who's here, I'm a very average DPS. I PvP mostly, so PvP is all about combos and kiting and juking people out and kind of like escaping and survival. It's not really about parsing or damage. So, but I'm a very average PvE DPSer, and I used to be not even average or not even good and not able to do veteran content. But one of my guilds, someone held a DPS clinic, and I went to it, and it was about 20 minutes long, and I took my parsing from 20k to about 50k that day with very little effort. So I'm hoping to share that with you all because it really made a difference and made me have a lot more fun in the game as a PvE DPS. I'm a Templar on this character. I'm a Templar because it's easy. I read somewhere it was the easiest class to play.
Oh wow, la-di-da.
So, well, for PvE DPS, right? So I'm a Templar. I'm running a build that I got on YouTube from Skinny Cheeks streamer. He has a Templar. He says he can get 95k with it. I'm sure he can because his light attacks are perfect and everything is perfect. But yeah, I'm average, so I can pull about 50k. So I'm running just Selene, and then Reliquin, which is a proc set, and then Deadly. And so, and I'm running double dot poisons. So your poison is important part of your parse. It's so you want to have a double dot poison up, and then I'm running
Okay,
my food.
pardon me,
What?
what is a double dot poison?
Double damage over time.
Got it.
So yeah, thank you for asking. Interrupt me if I'm saying things that don't make sense or using weird slang.
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe don't use any acronyms or instead of saying double dot.
Okay, double damage over time. So it's it deals poison damage for 3.5 seconds, and then it deals another damage for 6.4 seconds, and it has a 10-second cooldown. So really, once you snag someone, it's always up, right? So it has the cooldown is equal to the amount of damage over time. So it should always be up if you have a front bar, and you're getting your light attacks in. So the light attacks, poisons applied 20% on light attacks. So light attack weaving is a really important part of parsing and of being a good DPS. And light attack weaving, I never knew what light attack weaving was. So this is a light attack. You click the left, your left mouse button, and right up in the corner of my screen, or on the right side, there's a number 1, and that's my light attacks per second.
Okay.
And that's from an add-on called LA Helper, Light Attack Helper.
Attack helper.
Yeah, LA Helper. And so that's the add-on that comes up. And so if I I'm going to do a light attack, and then go into my jabs. Light attack, go into my jabs. Light attack, go into my jabs. Light attack, jab. Light attack, jab. So you can see I'm doing like 0.82 light attacks per second. 1 light attack per second is perfect. No one's going to be perfect. The best elite players are about 0.9 light attacks per second. I average about 0.4 because again I'm quite average and I don't PvE much. What people do when they're parsing to get a really good light attack weave is they use a metronome.
A metronome?
A metronome. So if you are into music, you might know what a metronome is, but it keeps a beat. So there's a light attack. There's a add-on called Global Metronome. I do not use that. If I want to parse, I'll go to YouTube and I'll pull up. I'll type in metronome, and then I'll type in 45 BPM. So 45 beats per minute is equal to about a light attack ratio of 0.75, which is really good.
So what is a parse?
A parse is like when you go in front of a dummy like this, and then you wail at it and you kill it. So so if I'm gonna parse, I'm gonna buff. I'm gonna start my light attacks and start just wailing on it, and I'm gonna bring it down eventually. And it'll take a few minutes to bring it down. And so this is if I'm parsing, and then I'm gonna try to keep everything up as much as I can. And at the end of my parse, I'm gonna end up with for combat metrics, I'm gonna end up with a screen that looks like this. And go back.
Now, are you running like macros for the attacks, or are you just actually doing your buttons in a certain sequence?
Oh, I don't run any macros. I'm just pushing my buttons in a certain sequence, and it's all memory. So what I'm doing with this character is I'm hitting Q. So I have weapon power potions up, and so your potions are a really important part of your rotation. So if you're in DPSing on a dummy, you're gonna have a rotation. So you're gonna have like a way of doing things that's in a particular sequence. So my rotation, I make sure I have my food up, and the food I use for parsing is different than a food I use for combat. If I'm going to go into a dungeon with my group,
You have all those buffs up right now.
It's because of the trial dummy. Yeah, don't be impressed. The trial dummy, because I'm wailing on a trial dummy, it gives me all these things. That's why the trial dummy is the gold standard. If I go wail on this guy,
I
Let's
see.
Let me see if it changes. It'll take a while to wear off. But if I go whale on this guy, I won't get all those. I won't get all those
Okay.
those buffs, right? Once they wear off.
Okay.
So it's yeah. That's why people want you to do a trial dummy, because that's the standard. If I whale on this guy and parse on this guy, I'll probably pull 30k. If I parse on this guy, I'll probably pull 50k. So there is a difference. But
Okay.
so your food is a really important thing. So my parsing food is lavafoot, soup-and-saltrice. I'm a stam stamplar, and so it's going to give me max stamina. It's going to give me stam recovery, and that's what I need to keep going. Because if I run out of stamina, then I have to start heavy attacking, and it messes up my rotation, and it's just a buzzkill. And I'm losing DPS. If I was going to go into a trial with you guys, I would put dubious camoran throne on, because it gives me stam recovery and stamina, but it also gives me health. And my health
and it's a lot less with the stamina as far as the stats that it gives you.
Correct. Yeah,
Right.
I got a lot less max stamina, a lot less stam recovery. So when you parse, when you bring down a dummy and you do CMX to prove your DPS, you're gonna use a different food more than likely.
And you're not going to waste one with health in it because the dummy's not hitting back.
Absolutely, and just like I'm when I do my rotation, I'm gonna leave out Ritual of Retribution, because it helps my team and it heals. Right, I don't need that. It does help with damage per second, but I could parse with just biting jabs on this character and probably pull like 40k. So you don't have to be that. You don't have to complicate things, and that's if I light attack weep. So you'll notice when I light attack and I do a skill, there's this like red bar in the middle under blessed shards, or over blessed shards. This red bar. Do you guys see that scrolling down?
Mm-hmm.
That's an add-on.
Oh god.
And that's called I only have 6 add-ons that are important. Stop. That's called global cooldown. And that is really important. That tells me when I can light attack again and start another skill. So I do that skill, and I can now light attack now. And I can do my skill, light attack now, 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 do my skill. So once that bar gets to be like 1/10 gone, like 1/10 left, I start my light attack, which is my left click button, and then I do my skill, and then light attack, skill, so that I'm not wasting time in between, right? You see that? And light attack weaving is just light attack, skill.
And so that you're not wasting resources pushing something that's not going to stack because it hasn't.
Correct, or double doing it, right? Like if I jab and then I try to jab again, I'm wasted. I can't get my light attack in. It's not going to register.
Right.
So light attack weaving, light attack, skill, and then light attack, skill. This is a slow version of it. Light attack, skill, and when I light attack, I'm going to see the numbers pop up. See that number that pops up with my light attack. So I'm going to know that I got my light attack in if I slow it down like that. So light attack, skill. Light attack, skill.
So
light
when
attack,
I see you,
skill.
I'm sorry. When I see you doing this, go ahead and start wailing on the dummy.
Okay.
White numbers is just your regular damage. Gold numbers is critical hits, and then let's call that yellow, and then down below you got the darker gold or darker yellow. That's your poison damage, correct?
The orange, correct? Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And
So you
anything
got
with
regular
exclamation
damage,
marks
critical
is
hits.
critical hits. Yeah.
Critical hits are yellow with the exclamation mark, and then your poisons are right there. So
Yeah,
I got that.
And if you look to the right of my screen, the light attack where it says 35.31, that's my light attack ratio. So about 32% of the time I'm getting my light attack in before starting my skill, and that's that's not awesome. That's better. I used to be like 0.1, right? Because I wasn't sure how to light attack weave and I didn't know what I was doing. But and if I really focus, I can get that higher. Or if I put the metronome on, if I put the 45 beats per second metronome on, and it just goes, then I can just time my light attack with the tick. So it goes light attack, light attack, light attack. So you can time yourself, and it keeps you in line. You get kind of a rhythm. And some people do like a metronome while they're in their dungeon, you know, because it helps them. They don't waste time in between doing their skills, right?
So, just from your own personal opinion, if you are unable to run a bunch of add-ons, looking at someone's way, what would you recommend if you could only run one? What do you think would be the best to help you with DPS?
The one add-on?
Yeah, if you could only have one add-on.
Bandit UI. Bandit UI is the best add-on. It's a user interface that has a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see, settings, add-on, and it has its own actually. Bandit UI has a whole bunch of stuff. It gives you a mini map. It gives you damage stuff. It gives you buffs. It tells you when your abilities are done. So like if I go to my back bar and I do my arrow, and I go to my front bar, you can't really, you can see above my jabs at the very bottom, that 6.4 or 5.4, it's 4 point. That's my arrow cutting down, so that when that's over, I know to switch to my back bar and do that arrow again, you know?
If
And
anybody,
then
In the little squares at the bottom, right?
yes. See how it's ticking down, 7, 6, 5? That's my arrows. And so I know that part of my rotation is keeping my arrows up because I'm running a maelstrom bow on my back bar. So when that's done, I can do that again. And that Bandit UI has that ability, and I also use action duration reminder. So that might be part of that interface. I have some of Bandit UI stuff turned on and some of the action duration reminder stuff turned on. So yeah, there's 6 add-ons I use. If you can't use add-ons, just run a metronome and do the best you can to keep stuff up, and you can kind of look at like when I don't see the arrows anymore, I know my arrows are done, you know. When I don't see the circle anymore, I know my circle is done. So you can look more for visual cues, but I just get lazy and I prefer numbers.
Sure. If anybody, I do run Bandit's UI, and all these, everything that you see on your screen can be moved. So, for example, her health and her health bars and stam and all that. You can move all that. You can set it up the way you want it. If you want the bars side by side, 3 in a row, where you saw her buffs as they come up, you can move that so you can actually see them.
Yeah.
So if anybody gets
true.
this and they need help, I'm more than willing to help you set up. We can just do what we're doing right here, and you can follow along, and I can show you how to do that. So it's fully customizable. You can, I strongly recommend it, just like Pockets did. For me, it was a game changer as far as being able to see what was going on.
Yeah, it really helps. It helps me, and I like everything in the middle, because when I'm parsing, I'm looking at my red bar. So and you can make the bar whatever color you want, but when I'm parsing, I'm looking at that bar. So if I look a little bit lower, then I can see my numbers. So my gaze when I'm parsing isn't at the dummy. I'm not looking at the dummy at all. I'm looking down below it at my red bar. I'm looking at my timers. And you can get used to that, and I do that in dungeons too. I stay out of the red. And I made my buffs. You can make your buffs a different color, and so if you go into settings, gameplay, you can make. I have friendly buffs for tree.
Buff a different color.
Well, I'm sorry. It's combat, so each like a friendly buff. So if my healer makes a circle and I need to be in it in a dungeon because it's going to protect me, it's going to be green. So if I see a green circle, I step in the green because I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And if the enemy throws a poison at me or a circle, or they're going to attack me, it turns bright pink. I have it all the way up to bright. I have it pink, so I'm like, oh shit, I need to get out of this pink circle. You know, so that way.
There's that. I thought what you meant was that you make your buffs a different color.
Oh, I apologize. No, I shouldn't have used like buffs. It's like it's just the good circles and the good AOE and the bad AOE, and the arc circles and cons.
Yeah.
And so if you don't, it's important to have the numbers turned on too. Not everyone has numbers turned on. And I think that might be in It's always in settings, and then might be in combat.
Mhm.
So you can do combat text damage. I like to know how much exact damage I'm doing,
Me too.
and then and then incoming. So you can mess with that, and that's how I get numbers, because I don't think numbers pop up for everybody. So yeah, combat. If you go into combat, mess with that. If you go into gameplay, mess with that. I go into nameplates for PvP. I want to see people's names, and because if I'm scanning over them, I want to see their names, because then I know who to watch for. So you can make that. You can change that if you're a PvEer, if you're a PvPer, if you're a PvEer, it may not be that fun unless you want to see like someone's pet name or something. So
Getting back to potions and poisons, is there a good website or resource that you go to find out which food is optimum based on what character or class you're running?
right, you can follow alkahest or dots, DOTTZ. Alkahest, I can't relate to him. He has a totally different play style than I do. He's more of a min-maxer, like a minimize bad stuff, maximize good stuff, like really heady and really into like this skill is 0.1% better than this skill, so I'm going to use this weird clunky skill.
It's precision German gaming, and yeah.
Totally, yeah, that's a better way of saying it. Dots to me is more practical. Yeah, his sets and his rotation. You can look up Dots on YouTube and watch him parse, watch him play. I've actually played him in Battlegrounds, which is hilarious.
Zyno's another good one.
Yeah, Zyno. Yeah.
They both
I like
have websites with those things as articles in them.
Oh, yeah. If you're not into videos, I don't like videos. I like to read what to do. So yeah, and this build is from Skinny Cheeks. So Skinny Cheeks has YouTube videos. They're really short, which is about my attention span, which is why I picked this. And he said Templar easiest rotation, and I was like, so. So this is a Skinny Cheeks build, and my skills are mostly what he thinks. Maybe exactly, but I tend to switch it out sometimes because I get a little bit I get lazy, and I don't want to do the perfect rotation. I don't care about that. So we went over settings. Does everyone understand light attack weaving? It's super important. It's like the most important thing for damaging.
Yes, and I was going to ask you if you've run into any issues from the adjustments. Everybody's talking about how they nerfed or messed up light attack weaving. They didn't mean to, and they're trying to do a hot fix. But I haven't run into any of it yet.
Nope. I've done PvE content, and I have not noticed any difference in my damage. And Cyrodiil is totally jacked up. So yes, Cyrodiil AOE and everything is just wildly messed up right now, and the lag is awful. But no, I haven't noticed anything. Again,
weren't they trying to do something, Pockets, about not being able to cancel the animation for some of the bigger ones, and that's what's caused the problem?
Yeah,
they were trying that.
They used to be able to bash sweep, so you could light attack, throw a skill, and then bash out of it. So you used to be able to do that. So it would look like this. But as you can see, it's not. They nerfed that a long time ago, so you can't really do that anymore. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Light attack,
isn't that important? Part of what light weaving also does is it cancels your animation for some. Right?
Yes, you're doing it to cancel your animation. So you
right.
light attack, do that, and then as soon as that global cooldown bar that I had, that red thing, as soon as that's empty, I light attack again, and it'll look like this if you're doing it right. And you could say that my animation's not finishing. It's like stopping in the middle of it.
What they mean by animation canceling, right, Pockets, is if you did your arrow spray or whatever, when you light attack right away, it's going to stop the whole animation for that and allow you to keep doing damage.
Yes, and you can bar swap to light attack to animation cancel too. So like I'm a light attack, arrow spray, bar swap. And you saw my character aim up, but you didn't see her release because I bar swapped to cancel that.
Okay.
So like I'm gonna light attack, arrow spray, and then so you can definitely cancel part of the animation. And the animations to finish them, like when I finish my animation and step forward, that takes time. But if I light attack, cancel it, my character doesn't. If I do it right, my character doesn't step forward.
Or it's a lot quicker.
Yeah, she doesn't
And
step
that all
forward.
helps your
it's slower.
DPS, right?
Yes,
Because it's
yes.
saving you. You know,
Time.
it might only be half a second or whatever, but it's
That's
almost the light weave.
Yeah, that's major.
So that's
And
important, right? That's
very.
the biggest thing probably with light attacks is it's animation canceling, which is saving you
Right.
time to
Right.
run more.
Yep, and it can restore stamina. Some sets proc off light attacks. Your poisons proc off light attacks. Procking means that it's a thing that happens naturally and intrinsically from your armor set. So like it's usually the fifth thing on your armor is like the proc. If there is one. So like my Reliquin said my light attacks and heavy attacks apply a stack of harmful winds. So I need to get my light attacks in because my proc set depends on it.
Can you also explain, because this is important too, and I didn't understand this. Can you go back to your armor and your bars? When you're running, you don't have 5-piece set, 2 5-piece sets. You actually have 3 different sets, don't you? Your rings are deadly. Actually,
yes,
you have more than that. You've got.
I'm front barring deadly. So yeah, I have Celine, so I have a monster set. And I like Celine's because when I do melee damage, which is all I'm doing, I have a 15% chance. So each light attack I do, it's constantly up, right? You constantly see the bear out. And then I have Reliquin, so I have 5-piece body Reliquin. So and I chose the body pieces because Reliquin's a medium armor set, and I'm a stamina and medium armor set gives me all the medium armor passives, which are really good for stam.
Okay, so hold on a second. So going back to Reliquin, we have you have with 3 items it gives you minor slayer, right? Which is a buff, and it's going to give it to you at all times, so you don't need to have a potion that gives you minor slayer.
That's right. Yeah, they don't stack.
It's just a waste. It does not stack.
Right.
So there's no point in having a potion that gives you minor slayer.
Correct. Yep. And so my potion is weapon power. And
right.
this potion I'm using gives me major brutality, major savagery, and restores stamina and increases my stamina recovery.
Right. So now you have 3 buffs automatically just by right? So does everyone see that how that's working? Because I didn't understand that in the beginning either.
Yeah.
I thought they stacked.
Yeah, they don't stack, and I'm front barring deadly. So like if I'm on my front bar, I have deadly 5, but when I go back bar, I'm using my maelstrom bow. This is why I do the arrow thing, because the arrow thing, I proc this maelstrom bow by using the arrow thing, and then it goes for 10 seconds, and then when I'm on this bar, I don't have deadly up, right? So all I do.
Can you explain that? Can you explain that a little bit more? Because this was the biggest thing that I've learned in the last little bit was about front bar and back bar. Because all I thought it did was just switch your skills, and that was it. And I didn't understand how your armor also would help affect which bar you're running at which time. So
totally. Okay.
Can you scroll over? So your front bar, what's your armor or your weapons on your front bar, the purple ones? Yes.
Yeah, so I'm running 2 Celines, 5-piece Reliquin. These are always up. So I don't need to, those are always working all the time, no matter what. And then I have 3-piece Jewelry Deadly, and then I have a 2-piece on my front bar. This is my front bar.
Okay, well, hold on. So go to your front bar. What is active on your front bar? Just your go scroll up to your armor. So deadly on your front bar, right? So you get your 5-piece set on your front bar only. Now your other sets that you have, what don't you have 5 pieces now when you're on that bar?
Well, when I go to, I want to run a maelstrom bow, and it's not part of a set, right? So if you want to run a mythical item, or you want to run another weapon like a master's bow, maelstrom bow, BRP bow, Black Rose Prison bow, whatever. You can back bar it. And so when I go back bar, if you look at deadly, I don't have deadly up right now. I only have
Right,
3 items.
but if
of
you
deadly
go,
because of my jewelries.
but so just watch that a second. So when we're at deadly right now, on this bar, which is your front bar, you do not get the 5-piece set at all times. You're not when you're using your daggers, you do not get any damage from your physical your 5 item
Wait,
on that bar.
Okay, you're making it. Let me explain this.
Yes.
When I do my arrow spray, so when I go here and I do my arrow spray,
Which bar is that? Show us the
this
bar.
is back bar. This is back
Okay.
bar. I'm on my back bar, and
Okay.
back bar is where you're gonna buff, typically back bar. And so when I do my back bar, I do my arrow spray. It procs the thunderous volley, right? The 2-item thing, increase the damage to belly by each tick. So when I do that that arrow spray, I have that the whole 10 seconds, even though I flipped to my front bar and I'm on my daggers now. I still have all the arrows doing all the damage from the maelstrom bow. That's working right now, even though I switched bars.
Right.
And that's important because when I back bar something, it's not going to be up most of the time. Most of the time, I'm going to be on my front bar. I'm going to be on my front bar because that's where I do all my damage. If you see me do all my damage, I'm here, and then I'm only here to buff, and I'm only here to do my arrow spray, and then I'm back on my front bar, and I'm going to stand at my front bar for 95% of the time. But because I did that arrow spray on my back bar with the bow, this carries on, and when I bar swap, this skill is 10 seconds long. It's still going, so I get like the extra benefit of this item. If I stay on my back bar, and I'm on my back bar, and I want a light attack on the back bar, I'm not getting my deadly. I'm not getting my deadly bonus.
Right.
So it's not going to be.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like
Yeah, it's not going to be effective.
Before I learned this, I thought you want to have 2 5-piece sets, so you always have, the 5-piece proc. I didn't realize that really you only want a 5-piece proc on your front bar, and on your back bar is where, as far as damage, and on your back bar is where you want to use buffs and stuff like that. I didn't realize that.
Or you could either run, or you can run a mythic item like a malakath. An antiquity that you dig up, like an orange antiquity, like a tonal of constancy, or a malakath ring, or snow treaders. Those special things that you can use. So you have to front bar something, and then back bar.
Because that
something.
really affects your DPS also. That's why I
Totally.
brought it up. That's
Totally.
huge for DPS.
Totally. That's kind of like part of maximizing what. So now I'm wearing like 1, 2, 3. I'm wearing 4 sets essentially for procs. Which is great, and usually most people think you have to run only 3 sets. Your
right.
2
that's my
5-piece.
That was my point.
Yeah, but I'm getting that 4th set, which is huge for damage, for sure.
Thank you.
Good point. Yeah. So weapon power pots are really popular for stamina. I'll once we're done here, in the general comment in this Discord, I'm gonna put a list of all the add-ons I use, and I'll put the recipes for the pots. The pot and the poison. That way you all have that. We talked about food. Oh, let me show you tab targeting. Tab targeting is important. It's mostly important in PvP. So if you look here, I looked at that dummy and I tab targeted it. I put my sight over him and I push tab. And I'm going to tab target this guy right here. See how he changes. See how he changes white, his outline? So if we're in a group, and someone's like, kill the vampire first, you guys. We're in a trial. He's the does the most damage. We're all gonna target the vampire first. Well, I'm gonna tab target him. I'm gonna look over him, and I'm gonna hit tab, and it's gonna put him in a white outline, and then I'm gonna know
See that?
that I'm targeting him. And anything I do that's near him will be done to him because the game knows that I'm targeting him. So you have a lot more chance of hitting him. In PvP, this is invaluable because if this dummy goes behind this wall, I will be able to see his white outline. I don't know if yeah, you can see it right there. See?
Yeah.
So I can see through that banner. So if he's a player and he's hiding or he's doing some spell and ready to come get me, I can see him, right? So you want to tab target. your anywhere you're going. Tab target. You know, if you're in PvP and they say focus healer, which
see
means the
that?
healers. Yeah. Everyone focus the healer. You focus the healer with tab target. That way you can wail on them and kill
Wait
them
a minute.
first. And
Tag target. Explain that a little better.
Tab, T-A-B.
tab, T-A-B.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the you hit the tab button on your keyboard. Tab.
So
Right.
Eldastar, when you see how you got your
No, right now I got kicked from the game, so I'm
okay. Well, you see above pockets. It's the your targeting little thing here.
Mhm.
Scroll over it. Pockets with your oh, never mind. You can't do that.
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah.
see my mouse
It would
cursor?
be right there, right? So then go back. Now, when you're doing that, you
and when
target.
I,
When you target it, when normally it would turn
Look at
yellow
that.
or whatever. Now you're gonna
You
hit
can see him
tab.
through the rock.
okay, as soon as
And
my
now-
reticle hits what I want to hit,
Yes.
I
Hit
hit
tab,
tab.
and then he'll be white.
And
Yeah,
it
you have-
locks
you have
the
to put-
target. Okay.
You have to put it in your like crosshairs, right? Your sight.
Yeah.
And then-
Crosshair.
yeah.
That's what I was trying to.
And then you hit tab, and it makes it have a white outline.
Got
and
it.
then when it dies, it's untargeted, and then you can go to the next one and tab target that one.
Now, when you tab target, do you have to like really target on him, or will your arrows and stuff kind of find him?
I think you still have to target on him. But if it's like AOE or anything that's kind of like or a cone, it's what I'm told is that it's a lot more likely to hit your target if you're tab targeting.
And
Okay.
there are already some things in the game. There are some shot like with the bow. If I'm a little off, once I've targeted, if I'm a little off, I can still hit him.
Cool.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You can see him behind
Yeah.
the wall.
So yeah, tab targeting is essential in PvP and really helpful in PvE for sure.
Mhm.
As far as and you want to make sure. I want to talk a little bit too about Mundus Stone. So the Mundus Stone that you have, oh, my Mundus Stone disappeared. This is a problem. This was not last update, but the update before. Oh my gosh, that means I probably would have pulled a lot more. So the update before last update, I haven't played this character since I think I grouped with some of you in a trial. So I don't play this character much, but the patch before last patch, they had a bug that made your Mundus Stone disappear. And I've had several characters my Mundus Stone disappeared, and apparently my Mundus Stone disappeared here too.
So you just have to go back to a Mundus Stone and
right and
add it again. Okay.
Yeah, but your Mundus Stone is really important, and so in PvP
Right.
you want penetration, so you want like the lover Mundus Stone usually if you're stamina, and if you're this character would have the warrior for more damage. For parsing, you can change your Mundus Stone for free anytime. You just go up to the Mundus Stone and push E to get it, and then you change it very, very easily. Mundus Stones are found in the world all around. There, a lot of guild halls have them.
Madams, does and Alba, do both of your guild halls have all the Munduses?
No, but we have a member that does.
Okay.
Cool.
No, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very expensive. And so if you're parsing, and you can even try like I can parse with the warrior Mundus Stone, and then I can parse with the lover, see how my penetration is. Maybe that will help my damage. Or if I'm running out of my sustain, I can parse with the shadow, which gives me stamina sustain, which may help me get more attacks in and help me keep going and not have to stop and heavy attack, right? So so you can kind of change your Mundus to fit your damage style or what works best when you do the CMX and parse and kind of look at what you did, or even when you just do it and you know that, oh my gosh, I'm running out of stamina, this sucks, You can change your champion points for that too. Champion points make my head hurt, honestly. I usually just put what people think it should be, and the people that are smart and know all this stuff, like Alkahest or Dots or Zynode or Skinny Cheeks. But you can mess with this. I had to have a tank for a trial progression, and my tank had to have 26k physical and spell resistance unbuffed. So all I did was I went into the champion points and just cranked up the resistances, and I met it, and I did a screenshot, and I was in, right? So
My head actually just cracked open on that subject, and all of a sudden it made sense.
ooh, nice, good for you. You
Right.
should impart me your knowledge, because my head hurts when I think about that stuff.
My head's hurting already.
This is a lot of information, and I'm happy to go over it again. I know if you're going to talk about like golding out stuff, so it's really expensive to gold out stuff. If I was smart and more attentive, I would have golded out my weapons, because golding out your weapons really increases your damage by a lot, especially Nirnhoned. If this was golded out, I would get 15% damage instead of 14%, which
That's
can
what
be a
she's
lot.
talking about. My weapons are golded out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Golding out your weapons, golding out your jewelry can be really helpful if you run infused or bloodthirsty.
Even just going from green weapons to purple weapons increases your damage. So yeah.
Yes.
See how,
And that's cheap.
mm-hmm. I can see how golding would just max it.
Totally. Like right now, I should probably just get unlazy, put these in the bank, and have my main character gold them out, like duh, and go find me a Mundus, because apparently I would have parsed a lot better if I had a Mundus. Like, darn it. I hadn't checked this character yet since that bug happened to me. So what questions does anyone have, or what things should I explain better or differently? And then nothing is too stupid. I am very new to PvE DPS, and I am not elite. I'm super casual, so don't be afraid to type up.
Can you, now that we've kind of gone over some of this stuff, can we just watch you parse one, and then you can show us what your DPS was and how you find that information?
Sure. I'll finish this one. So I'm gonna make sure I don't have a Mundus. You don't have a Mundus here, do you?
No, I don't.
It doesn't.
Oh, come on.
No,
Alba.
it doesn't matter. I don't need a Mundus. So I'm gonna make sure I've got my weapon power up. I'm gonna make sure my food's up. I'm gonna make sure I have a Mundus. I don't. And then I'm going to pop my pot and then start parsing. And this is my rotation.
Take your potion.
Yep. Take my potion. I'm gonna activate the blessed shards. I'm gonna activate power of light, and then I'm gonna watch my numbers, and I'm gonna try my best to do my light attacks. The power of light is gone, and then these. And I don't have a metronome guiding me, so it's a little, for me, I kind of need that, but let's see. So this is like my little rotation. Buff.
I'm looking in your, right by where our group list is, and at the very top you have a little bar, and that's showing that right now you're doing 57k.
Yeah. That's actually usually that's accurate.
Right.
And so
and then
that's
in the parentheses, that's telling that you are doing all the damage. So when you're
right.
in a group,
100%.
that would show you what percentage damage you're doing with your other group members. So if you had 4 people and yours says 75, then that means out of the 4 of you, you're doing 75% of the damage.
Pockets.
Correct. Yeah, and that's
helpful. When you did the trial with us, and I'm seeing now where you got the 100 we had over 100,000 damage available or something that we were doing. But it was because you had you and somebody else that was there that was doing the majority of it, I'm sure. But that's how you're able to tell is through your add-ons that you've got. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Totally. So like sometimes if I pug a dungeon and I go in there and I'm like, oh man, this is going slowly. I can see, oh man, I'm doing 80% of the damage. The other DPS is weak sauce and not pulling his weight. Which is okay. They're newer or whatever, but I know what the problem is. Or if I'm with someone really good and I'm like, oh my god, I'm only doing 20% of the damage. This person is awesome. Good for them. So it's kind of fun. I don't get upset or if people are low, or I don't try to be high or get upset at myself. It's kind of a fun thing for me.
That's
now,
cool.
do you know what the other numbers mean? There's another There's like a pie circle which says 91%.
Yes. I just recently messed with that. That is so. It took me 2 minutes, 21 seconds to do that last fight. I think that's what that means. And
Okay.
this is the uptime on I believe my buffs. And I don't know. And it's true. Like when I do a horrible job, it's low.
Yes,
and when I
go
do,
ahead.
I'm pretty,
Type
trying to
it.
be pretty conscientious. It says 91%. So that's part of combat metrics. This is I believe this is the 100% of the damage. This is the damage per second I'm doing. If I go into a big trash pack and I drop an AoE, trash pack is a bunch of mobs that aren't a boss, and I drop a whole area attack, that may go up to 100, and it can be really fun and exciting, but it's just your split second damage that you're doing right
So I
that
see
moment.
as you're hovering over that, if you hit, can you go back up there, please?
Mhm.
It's if you click on your left mouse button, it's going to display your damage report. So that's
Yeah.
showing you the percentage of all the different things you were using to do the damage, right?
Holy smokes.
Yes, in that moment, and I don't even. I've never even done that.
Well,
Right?
what that's
It
saying
also
is
shows you your
biting,
uptime.
yeah, your biting jobs does the most damage that time, which was
Right.
40% of your
Oh
damage.
But
Right.
I'm glad
you
you said the
managed to
uptime.
keep everything up 100% of the time.
Well, no. If you see
No,
my
I see.
uptime, my
I'm
biting
reading the
jabs.
other thing. Mhm.
Yeah,
Your
my
buffs
biting
were up
jabs were
100%.
95. Right, my power of the light. My endless tail is pretty good about watching that little countdown and keeping that up. That's a proc set, so that's just procking off of my
So how many times? Okay.
Proc
chance.
5% of the
So-
time.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you that would be helpful if you're trying to figure out what monster set to use, wouldn't it?
Oh, you
Right.
can see your procs, and you can see like, oh, this is up 5% of the time. Oh, that's cool. What if I have a set that can proc more frequently
Right.
and maybe give me more damage than the 324k?
Or
You know,
what
that
if
would be cool.
what if I use a different combination of my skill bars? Will
Yes,
that proc
yes.
it more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. In this, like, I ignored my ulti for a while. If you guys noticed that and were annoyed, it was 80% of the time, right? Because my ulti was sitting there waiting to be fired off, and I was sitting here focusing on other stuff and pots and stuff and talking. So
But that would
and
also tell you what.
I didn't light attack with my back bar at all. You see.
But that would show
What's
you what ultimate you're
Ooh.
getting enough damage and how often, right?
It also
Right,
Like
I
you
mean,
wouldn't
you
you wouldn't want to
yeah.
use empowering sweep less than flawless dawnbreaker if you could, because you get way more damage, right? You see that?
Well, it depends on which ones I chose to fire.
Right.
This was up more frequently than that one, so it has more damage. So
Gotcha.
you
Okay.
could mess with it. If you times that by 2, it's close to that.
It also showing you how many times your poisons were applied.
Right. Yeah. What's the uptime on those? And that will be
Yeah.
related to my light attacks.
Mhm.
And it says dual, which it doesn't have enough time for that, but that's where I see my light attack helper. My light attack helper in that right side. While I'm parsing, I'm kind of looking at that a little bit, just to see if I'm close to 1, because that means I'm doing a good job. And if I'm like 0.2 or 0.3, I'm like, well, shit, I might as well just stop my parse and start over. If I'm
Yeah.
trying to get a good number.
Yeah, because as I understand it, dual attack parses differently from one-handed.
As far as
Is that
parsing,
correct?
I mean, your light attack frequency is still going to be the same.
Okay.
One light attack is one light attack, whether you have a sword or a shield in one or the other.
Right.
So yeah, I haven't parsed with my tank that does sword and board, sword and shield, but I don't think it's not any slower. A light attack is a light attack is a light attack. So I haven't found that there's no like light attack speed that's different from one character to another
okay.
that I've noticed.
Pockets,
But
I've got
obviously, when you look at skills, this one is it takes a time 1 second for me to do this. Channel time 1 second.
Right.
It's not an instant, right? So
Yeah.
that's why the red bar is going down. This is an instant cast time. So when I cast that, that's instantly right there.
Mhm.
That's instant as well. But yeah, my spammable, my biting jabs is a 1 second cast time. So that's why I've got to get those light attacks in there.
Mhm.
I've got a question from somebody on the stream that they typed in. They want to ask you. So if I have 2 self buffs on my back bar, should I be weaving light attacks in between applying them, or should I focus on immediately applying them to get back to front bar? I guess maybe explain your front and back bar and how you do it.
Right. Well, my back bar, this is a maelstrom bow, and so it procs off of. Let me go up in my back bar. It procs off of the damage that Bali deals, and Bali is a skill in the bow skill line. So all I'm using from the bow skill line is Bali. This is a Bali morph. So when I'm on my back bar, I'm on my back bar right now. My bow, so my deadly is not up. It's not helping me at all, and so I'm gonna do my bow, and then I'm gonna bar swap to my front bar, and this is still going. So while I'm wailing away with my deadly that's got 5 pieces now, which is most of where I spend most of my time, this is continuing to work, and I'm still getting this this 2-item bonus. So yeah, if you do fire off that skill on your back bar and then you swap, you keep that skill. It keeps going for the duration of that that time frame. So it'd be like around 10 seconds.
What I think the question was is, do you need to light
Talk. Your mic is up or something. You sound like you're across the room.
Sorry. But I think the question was they were asking between buffs on your bar, not a weapon skill, but like 2 healing skills. You don't have to light weave between those 2 skills, correct?
2 healing. No, you should be light weaving. You should be light weaving between everything. So like if I'm gonna do my bow, I'm gonna do light attack, bow, and then I'm gonna do light attack. My buff, light attack, other buff, bar swap, light attack, buff, light attack, jab, light attack. So you should have a light attack between everything. If there's not a light attack between it, there can be a bar swap, which can also animation cancel. Bar swapping can take the place of a light attack when you animation cancel.
You answered his question.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, you answered his question.
Cool.
Thank
Good.
you.
I'm glad. Sure. What other questions do you guys have?
It's a lot to absorb.
Problem with the mouse bow is I can't aim the damn thing.
Oh.
With the maelstrom bow?
Pardon me?
You said with the maelstrom bow, your problem is aiming the volley?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I in fact, let me see if you have to. Yeah, you do have to get it in that circle. I mean, you'd have to get that thing in that circle. In PvP, it would be freaking useless because the player would just roll dodge out of the circle.
Yep.
And they'd be like, oh, there goes your damage.
Well, and I find that I use volley most to it's a barrier. I put it up around myself when there's any doubt because they don't hurt me, but they hurt anything that approaches me.
That's true. Yeah, stuff is coming at you. I mean, if you're aiming it over here at the enemy running at you, and then they come run at you, they're gonna miss all that, right? They're gonna be over here. So yeah, if they're charging at you, that's a great technique. I love that. It's just following your own self, and here they come at me, and they're right on me. So that's awesome. I love that. I'm gonna try that actually. I never even thought of that.
For mobs, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that was
the
a good
thing
idea.
I used the most. When I first started playing, the first thing I picked up was bow, and that was what I used it for the most when I was playing, especially when I was playing by myself. Because, like you said, they're charging for you. You can't you put it over them, they charge towards you right out of it. So you either have to put it over them and then run to them,
Right.
or just put it over yourself.
Yeah, that's great. I main a stand-in, Bobo stand-in for a PvP. So I run 2 bows, and it's a build I created. It's just not meta, and it's not min-max, but it's good enough and it's super fun. So yeah, if I try to go into PvP with that character and change my armor stats and change my skills a bit, I'm gonna definitely do that. So yeah, if I'm gonna parse, I'm gonna make sure I've got weapon power pots. I'm gonna make sure I got my parsing food up. I'm gonna make sure I got poisons on my bar. Make sure I've got all the right sets and the 5 pieces and stuff, and then I'm gonna buff on my back bar, buff, and then buff, and then go to my front bar, and then wail, and then I'm gonna pop my pots as soon as they come up as part of my rotation. They last like 45 seconds, I think. It depends on your alchemy level, and then I'm gonna keep my ultis up, and then I'm gonna be a boss. But yeah, it's all about that light attack weaving.
Cool.
And when you're light attack weaving, it's gonna look like that. Your animation canceling is gonna. You're not even gonna see the light attacks except for the number. And that's it. So yeah, I'll put the recipes to the pot, the poison, and the add-ons that I use in channel.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I'll put the Mundus recommendations for stam characters. I only play stam characters. I don't play mage characters. Yeah, and if you guys have questions, let me know. If you need a refresher, I'd be happy to come back and tell you what I know. I feel like I'm close enough to a beginner that I know what it's like to be starting and not know how to light attack weave or do that stuff. So thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for doing this. I feel like I don't have a question because a lot of it I'm just trying to digest.
Yeah.
Oh sure.
You and
Sure.
both.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'll
Oh,
just
thank you
offer
so
to
much.
everybody, if you have any questions, just ask me, and I'm more than willing to spend time. Again, with the Bandit's UI, if you want to help set that up and get it all looking nice on your screen so it doesn't bother you when you understand what's up and where it is. And you can, to integrate other add-ons that you have, you can add that stuff like up where where our group list is, and she had that little bar with the combat. All that stuff is movable, so you can put it wherever on your screen that is convenient or optimum for you. So just please don't hesitate to ask.
Well, awesome. Thanks.
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Very
Madams,
cool.
can I get an invite to your guild?
Oh, of course. Let
Don't
me.
invite them is the wrong thing to do.
That's right.
What was
I
that?
wanna
What was that? I'll have to send
Oh,
it
but
to you in a
talking
little bit.
shit. I know where you live, old man.
Oh, ooh.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get busy typing this stuff into the guild channel, and I'm gonna split. So thanks for watching, you guys.
Yes, and thank you,
Thank you.
Pocket.
Thanks,
Of course.
Thank
Pockets.
you, Pockets.
course.
That was
Absolutely.
Thank you.
good.
Yeah, I know you guys are all hungry, so I can't wait to hear about how your DPS is and how you guys are gonna do vet trials. I can see it happening for sure.
Sweet.
Later. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you
Talk to
so
you
much.
soon.
Tell, is it the same name? Did you get the invite?
I have to log back in while I was watching
Oh,
the
okay.
stream.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But is it TULLK?
Yeah.
Okay, it's sent. You'll have it when you get
Okay,
there.
thank
Okay,
you.
cool. And thank you so much. I'm going to stop the stream, guys, but any info she
Okay.
gives, I'll put on my YouTube page underneath this video so we can look at it later. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having her